It's your boys, Doug and Ryan Stewart, the Two Live Stews, and it is a Two Live Stews Falcon wrap-up. Happy Thursday night. What a game.
What a game. The Birds get it done,
What a
man.
game. I mean,
Falcons
what a
beat
game.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 36-30. A lot of theatrics at the very end. The game goes into overtime, and we score a big touchdown at the very end of the game, man, to win. To beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sir, 36-30. What are your overall thoughts of the game, man? I thought it was a pretty clean game until the end with the interception thrown by Kirk Cousins. But outside of that, Falcons played good. It was kind of like a shootout.
He threw one interception that looked like it was going to be a very costly interception. However, it didn't matter. Kirk had one of his best nights ever throwing the ball. 34 for 47, 389 yards, and 3 TDs. You mentioned the one interception. Falcons found a way to get it done. This makes them, what are they now, 3-2? I mean, I'm at a loss for words, sir. I'm at a loss for words because
they're 2-2 now. They're 2-2 now.
2-2. The guy formerly known as a Gimp, or the guy formerly being called a Gimp, had one hell of a game where he didn't do many things wrong.
Now, he was gimpish. He's still gimpish. He cannot move. And a lot of the times he gets in trouble, we talk about Kirk Cousins, a lot of the time he gets in trouble, man, is when they get pressure on him. And he's got to get rid of the ball. He can't run. He's got to get rid of the ball. And he throws the ball in the dirt. He gets sacked. He has a fumble. So that's still an issue. issue.
No. He threw for 389 yards.
Right.
Moving the pocket or not moving the pocket, injury or no injury, he threw right shy of 400 yards, having one of his best nights at the quarterback position in the National Football League. If they would have lost, even with that interception he threw late in the game, it would not have been his fault. Mm-hmm. If they would have lost, it would have been all on the coaches, okay? Because we see Bijan Robinson, a guy that we've been talking about for weeks now as a feature running back, only getting 12 carries, averaging over 5 yards, but only getting 12 carries. So again, if they would have lost, which they didn't, so it doesn't matter, but if they would have lost, it would not have been on Kirk Cousins. It would have been more so coaching than Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, 509 yards? Is that right? Oh, the last pass. The last pass took him, I'm showing 509 yards. That can't be right. It meant a 4. No, it's 509 yards, man. The man threw for 509. What were you saying? You were saying something different just now.
I said 389.
No, that man threw for 500 yards, 42 out of 58, 4 touchdowns, had the 1 interception. Bijan Robinson, you just talked about, he only had 12 attempts.
Those numbers are old stats, sir. I'm sorry. I need to refresh my screen. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, if you're coming from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, if you come from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and you got us on your phone, pay attention to the road. But if you stop at a stoplight, text us. You can text the show and get your thoughts out there, and we're going to read some of the texts and get your thoughts as the Falcons.
Hey, shut your mouth when you're talking about Kirk Cousins, man. That man threw for over 500 yards tonight. 4 TDs. Shut your mouth when you talk about Kirk Cousins.
He looked very sharp.
The numbers I was giving you were the numbers pre-overtime. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he added another 100 plus during overtime and another touchdown. Hush your mouth while you talk about Kirk Cousins, and let's stop calling him that word for the person that walks like they got one foot bigger than the other.
You came up with the name for the guy. Well, you the one came up with the name for the guy, the Gimp.
I hadn't called him that in 2 weeks. I told you after last week's win that I'm over it. I'm over myself, and I apologize to Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons fans. I apologize, and I was right to do so. Mm-hmm. He balling,
right?
He balling. He threw he threw for half of 1,000 yards tonight, sir.
Yeah, threw over 50 times, man. How often do you see that? He threw the ball 58 times. That's got to be a record or something. If you're coming from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, what are your thoughts about the big game? The Falcons win. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 36-30. there is a problem with this Bijan Robinson thing, man. He only carries the ball 12 times, 61 yards. We talk about it every single week. Drake London had a big game, 154 yards, 12 receptions, 1 touchdown. I like the receivers in general.
The McLeod,
yeah,
all of those guys played exceptionally well tonight. They really did. There was even a Pitts sighting tonight. We talked about how he wasn't targeted last week, how he got no catches last week. There was even a Pitts sighting tonight.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, 8 targets, caught 7 balls for 88 yards. Mooney, 16 targets, 9 catches, 105 yards. Drake London gets 154 yards. So Mooney is good. And I've been meaning to talk more about Mooney because Mooney's pretty solid these first 4 games that we've had in the season. So him paired along with London. We got a little Kyle Pitts sighting tonight.
Mooney did have a big drop late in the game.
He did.
That was a huge drop. But again, he's been a short-handed receiver to this point. And Kirk Cousins, man, hitting 7 or 8 different receivers, 7 different receivers all night long. 2 guys over 100 yards. Pitts right at 100 yards with 88 yards. And then you got Hodge, who caught 2 balls for 67 yards. And Ray caught 6 balls for 66 yards. Again, man, impressive. And the only thing that they're doing wrong to this point is penalties. Okay, had a lot of penalties for my liking, and they did not give the ball to their featured back like he should be featured, getting 20+ carries a game.
The other issue is Koo. What happened to Koo tonight? We just sang his praises last week about being the most steady player on this roster for the last couple of years. And tonight he misses 2 field goals, or
he was in
one extra point and 1 field goal, right?
He missed 2 field goals.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. Well, he missed twice on 1 field goal.
That's right.
Because there was a penalty after the first one. But then he gets blocked. Now, he made the field goal that he needed to make to put the game in overtime. Right. Yeah, he made the field goal that he needed to make to get in overtime, which was huge. But I think Guido was in his pockets, man, whenever something like that happens. A short-footed kicker like that hole the Falcons got, a short-footed kicker. Yeah, man, I think Guido was in his pockets, man.
So you're saying don't say things like that. Don't say things like that about Koo.
You're right. I shouldn't. You're right.
The guy's been the most steady player once again for the Atlanta Falcons over the last couple of years. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? We're going to read some of these messages in the chat room. We're still working on the phone situation. We will get that taken care of and resolved here very soon. Shouts out to everybody that was at the game watching the big victory. A little bit later in the show, man, we've got to talk about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan goes into the Ring of Honor tonight, has a big speech and everything, man. So I want to get your thoughts on that and kind of like reflect on Matt Ryan, his career as an Atlanta Falcon. What's your thoughts about him and his career in general?
He didn't have no games as a Falcon where he threw for over 500 yards.
I believe he probably has had a game with 500+ yards.
Dre can check and find out real quick. It wouldn't take long to find it out. But yeah, I think Matt Ryan's best outing as a quarterback for the Falcons was what, 280, 290 maybe.
Yeah. And Julian James says, y'all going to make me a Falcon fan in a minute. Why not? Rise up. Absolutely. 2 Live Studios, the Falcon team is different from the recent past. Noddy. The great Noddy Dread is riding with us tonight, producing the show. Truck D corrected me, 509 yards and 4 TDs. Loose neck side. Let's see. Microwave. Noddy, what's good? He's giving shots out to people. Moody better hug every ninja on the team for bailing him out. You mentioned it, the big drop that he had at the end of the game. Really, I thought the game was over. Right. Somehow we drove back down, got in position to kick a long field goal, 1 second left on the clock, and Koo comes in and gets the field goal. We take it into overtime. We get the big win in said overtime.
Whenever we're on this screen, you can guarantee that we're being powered and fueled by the good folks at Southern Edge Beverage Company. Check us out on the web at southernedgebeverageco.com. Again, that website is southernedgebeverageco.com. Got a lot of new listeners listening, got a lot of new people watching every single day. We appreciate y'all for doing so, but make sure you check us out on the web at southernedgebeverageco.com. A little bit later, the great Noddy Dread will post the QR code before we get out of here. And when you see that QR code get posted, simply screenshot that thing, click that link, go on and order a couple bottles on the website, and then those bottles will be sent directly to your home. We're going to bump for you guys on the cost of the shipping on the first package. So we do appreciate you guys. But shouts out to the good folks from Southern Edge Beverage Company. Yeah, man, eight flags for 74 yards is way too much.
Yeah.
The Falcons have been finding ways to win, okay, but they're not playing clean football. And
no, I thought the game was pretty clean. I mean, we couldn't stop them really defensively. I mean, obviously because of this final score, but I thought we played pretty clean.
Yeah, damn near 10 flags, man, for almost 100 yards. That's a lot. But I'm not belittling the Falcons at all. I'm not talking bad about the quarterback that had one of the best outings of his career and probably one of the best outings of a Falcon quarterback in the history of the league. I mean, 500 yards, we just don't see that. So now they're playing good football, man. They're finding ways to win, and that's what you want your team doing, finding ways to win.
If you're leaving the bins or if you just tuned into us because you saw this live stream come up, we do the show Monday and Thursdays at 7 a.m. Mondays and Thursdays at 7 a.m. The number 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com or 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com. 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com and 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com. Mondays and Thursdays, if you're old school Stews listeners, we do it just like we used to do it on the radio some 20 plus years ago, but even liver. All right. Trust us on this. Check us out. You won't be sorry.
Shout out to my man Dub Slim. Everyone here should like, subscribe, and share and tell a friend to tune in. If you have not already, if you have, do it again for a friend. They need this show, but just don't know. Shout out to you, Dub Slim. We appreciate you, player. The great Naughty Dreads in the building. Naughty, you're a Falcons fan, true and true. Well, you're not a Falcons fan.
No, but as I explained to Doug last week, I am rooting for the Falcons for reasons that, well, we black. We got a black front office. We got a black head coach. We got a black starting quarterback in waiting. It's very important that the Falcons have success so that going forward, the league will know that we can run a football franchise,
right?
A successful football franchise.
Give us your thoughts on tonight's game, Dredd.
Oh, it was a great game. It wasn't a bell for me to ring, so I just had to come through the window. So that's what I did.
You like bro man from the fifth floor, huh?
But it's so ironic that Matt Ryan was inducted into the Ring of Honor today, and 8 years ago to this day, Matt Ryan had his best passing game, the only game he ever threw for over 500 yards.
Wow.
October 2nd, 2016.
On the same. Shut up.
Yes.
Shut the front door.
Versus the Carolina Panthers, Matt Ryan threw for 503 yards. It's the only game that he ever passed for over 500 yards.
I do want to say that what I said was correct, that he's never thrown for more than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins threw for 509, best of him by 6 yards. But still, I still didn't think that Matt Ryan had that in him. I do remember that game that you're mentioning it. Give us your take on the quarterback and how Kirk Cousins played tonight, Dredd.
Well, like I had told Doug last week, I think Kirk Cousins is finding his rhythm. I think the offense is gaining more chemistry, and I think they're gonna roll, man. I think they're gonna win the division. Now playoffs, that's something totally different. But I will say this: I was sort of disappointed in the defense. The defense had a severe letdown tonight.
Yeah,
you couldn't get any pressure on the quarterback.
Tonight, yeah, Baker Mayfield went crazy tonight too.
Right.
I mean, don't forget, this was a high-scoring game.
Correct. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. They got no. I mean, I thought Matthew Judon was brought here to get to the quarterback.
To pressure the quarterback, and nobody's getting to the quarterback.
Correct.
Yeah, the only time we get to the quarterback is when we bring someone else outside of the front four.
Not even tonight.
Not even tonight.
They were bringing an extra guy, and they still weren't getting to the quarterback.
Right.
Baker Mayfield was jumping out the back window and running for first downs.
Julius 35C says, I'm looking for one complete game from the Falcons where it doesn't come down to one possession. You do know that every game has been within 7 points, within a touchdown.
I don't give a damn about that.
Falcons right now are at the top of the NFC South because of this tiebreaker. They're 3-2. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 3-2. The Saints are 2-2, and the Carolina Panthers are 1-3. They might as well just cancel their season right now, Carolina.
It's too
But
early to
right
tell
now,
the
we're at the top of the division, and this is pretty late. You know, watching the Falcons for the last 30-something years, 34 years, or 34 years, a lot of times at this point in the season, we're already saying, yeah, it's a wrap. We're not going to be able to do anything this year.
Well,
We're at the top of the division right now.
This is just a quarter of the season, man. We're just past a quarter of the season.
Hey, man, you take your blessings as you get them, baby.
70% more games to play, sir.
Take your blessings as you get them. Am I not lying that this time of the year, by the 5th game, that it's already looking dreary like it's going to be another one of them seasons? We're at the top of the division. Be happy.
You want to be on top. I mean, they're tied with the Bucs in the division.
Yeah, but they got the tiebreaker. They just beat them.
They got the tiebreaker. They got the win. But I mean, it's early, and I'm not trying to belittle them. You want to be where they are right now, okay? But you know, you mentioned Baker having a good game. Baker, he wasn't outstanding today. Okay, he only threw for 180 yards, but he threw 3 touchdowns. He was efficient, but he wasn't more efficient than Kirk Cousins was. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I'm blown away by is by the guy that is new to this team, got $100 million guaranteed, and outside of the first game, he's played exceptionally well. Yeah, he's finding ways to win, and he's not moving the pocket.
But
so he's getting this done, and he's not at his best self yet, if that makes any sense.
You know what, man? Do you know how close we were to saying Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins, meaning he does what Kirk Cousins does, the interception at the end of the game. Like, it's very close. I'm not ready to say Kirk Cousins is the savior for this organization, man, because he's had too much of a history. Like, there's a book on him and what he does. I'm not going to get too excited. I'm happy right now, but I'm not going to get too excited and start giving them all these bouquets of flowers. I'm just not going to do it. Yes, sir.
No, he hadn't won any Super Bowls. But if there's anything he's proven over the last decade, is that he wins football games.
And he's a gimp.
Period.
And he's a gimp. You call him that.
He's a gimp now, and I stopped calling him that 2 weeks ago, as I keep telling everybody, and I've apologized. I've apologized. He just threw for 509 yards.
Yeah. I'm not ready to say, yeah, we good to go with Kirk Cousins. I'm not ready to do that yet. He looked great tonight. Obviously, 500 yards. He looked great tonight. He's looked good, really, outside of the first game.
He's the reason why the Falcons have been winning, sir.
Outside of that first game, he's played very, very good.
Yep.
I'm going to put it like that. He's played very, very good.
And he's done that his entire career. Since he was at the Washington when they were the Redskins, he's always been a guy that at the end of the year is going to have 9, 10, 11 wins.
Kirk Cousins has had a very good run here over the last couple of weeks. I will give him that. Hey, hit us in the text messages in the inbox. We're gonna read some of your messages. What are your thoughts about the game tonight? The Falcons get it done. Dub Slim, come on. We didn't name him Young Ho Doug. Giota blame his folks for that one, bruh. From Opinionated Reality, he did one where Julio had 300 yards against Carolina. He's talking about Matt Ryan. Ron Lee, Matt Ryan is the best quarterback in Falcons history. Vic is the most exciting. So Matt Ryan goes into the Falcon Ring of Honor tonight. What are your thoughts?
He's not the best quarterback in Falcons history. Mike Vick's the best quarterback in Falcons history.
So I have the exact same thoughts.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Ron Lee just said.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan statistically has had the best career at the Falcons. The best quarterback is MV7. Period. If you're taking a quarterback just off of talent and their ability, no one's going to take Matt Ryan over Michael Vick. No. If you're talking about that, but if you're talking about the numbers, which you always talk about the numbers, it's clear Matt Ryan's the best quarterback the Falcons have had.
And that's with him confessing to the world that he could have been a better pro while being here in Atlanta early in his career. That's with his thoughts. He could have been a better pro, but was still phenomenal. So yeah, look, man, y'all know how I feel about Matt Ryan. I think that if he was a real leader, like he was put in a position to be a leader, that we would have won that Super Bowl instead of losing, finding a way to lose that Super Bowl. I think if he was a real shot caller during that Super Bowl, there was a few plays he would have been like, Coach, why are we doing that? We're not going to do that. I think he would have pulled a Favre. I think he would have pulled a Peyton Manning. I think he would have pulled a John Elway. I think he would have done a Tom Brady. Like, time out real quick. No. Why are we doing that? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
had he done that, he would definitely be someone that I would hold in higher regard. But because he didn't do that, and because he always overthrew balls, sail balls, because he always dribbled balls, that's why I feel the way about him that I do. He was great pro, but yeah, he wasn't him.
Two things. Matt Ryan was a good quarterback. He wasn't as great as a lot of people want to make him out to be.
Mm-mm.
And the second thing, you talk about the Super Bowl and what happened in the Super Bowl. The problem with the Super Bowl is, I will say this, I will argue this to my dying day. All right. The Falcons wanted Matt Ryan to be the MVP in that Super Bowl. That's what they wanted, okay? Because if you look at the first half, Devontae Freeman was clearly the MVP after that first half of football. The Falcons continued to throw the ball in the second half because they wanted Matt to be the MVP, and it got our ass toasted. It did. 28-3. I hate to even say the darn numbers, okay? But the man went to the ring of fame tonight, the ring of honor tonight. Congratulations to him. Very solid player. Great player, a lot of people will say, for this organization and for this city. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Vashawn Jones, Two Live Stews taking over late night. Big shout out from VK. What up, VK? And the Hash It Out show. Great game tonight and big win for the Falcons. Cousins played the game of his life. Very sharp. Early on, he was hitting everybody in the middle of the chest, man. So, absolutely, you got to give Kirk Cousins some love tonight. He absolutely got it done.
You got to give the offensive line love tonight for keeping him clean for the most part. He got sacked a couple times, but still, the O-line kept him clean. You got to give Grady Jackson and the D-line up front some credit and some cheer for the way they played today. They kept pressure on Baker. They played a good game. I'm happy for Raheem Morris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for Raheem Morris and his coaching regime. I'm happy for Fontenot. I'm happy for Rich McKay, who's been in a president of the Falcons for a couple of decades. They're finding ways to win, and that's very important. And again, I'll say it all night long. Kirk Cousins, sir, he's the secret ingredient in the sauce that's allowing the Falcons to play the way they're playing right now.
Okay, you're going to have to slow your roll now. Okay, I'll let you go ahead and rant and rave about Kirk Cousins. You're going too far.
Right. Yep. He threw for 509 yards. I can't go too far tonight.
Well, I'm just saying, he has a body of work.
Right.
He has a body of work. This isn't his first year. This isn't his first rodeo.
His overall body of work is excellent, which is why they brought him in for $100 guaranteed dollars. His current body of work in Minnesota and in Washington is excellent.
Hey, listen, if you are watching the show for the first time, some of you might be saying, I didn't know the Stews were doing something like this. We've been doing this for like 7 months, okay? 2 days a week, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Actually, on Thursdays, we're going from 7 to 9 going forward. Write this down. Grab a pencil. Grab your phone and put it in your memo pad or whatever the case may be. The number 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com, or 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com. Catch the live show. All right, catch the live show. Watch the reruns of the live show. You can watch them forever and ever going forward. We got a ton of reels, okay, on our Facebook page. So your boys are back. Show some love. Show some love.
I saw a text message I wanted to read right here from the Great Waterboy Show. Why not us? And if all Falcons fans are saying that, shame on y'all.
What up, B-Rich?
I'm not a Falcons fan. I am a Raider fan with my heart, in my mind, in my wallet. I am still a devout Lions fan. Okay, but I support the Falcons because I'm in Georgia, and this is the team that represents the state. Sir, they're playing good football. They're leading the division right now.
Right.
Okay. They're tied with the Bucs at 3-2. They have the go-ahead because of tonight's win. They're doing everything that you want a team to do, which is find ways to win. And to this point, with a 3-2 record, being ahead or in the number one spot in the NFC South, they haven't even played their best game yet. They hadn't played the best football yet. That's not to the good folks from Southern Edge. Southern Edge Beverage Company. Check them out on the web at southernedgebeverageco.com. Yeah, that's a very, very important fact. When the Falcons find a way to let Kirk Cousins throw the ball 50 times and give Bijan Robinson the ball 20-plus times, they're going to have something. Bijan had over 5 yards per carry tonight, and they only gave him the ball a handful of times.
I think that we get caught up and we get kind of caught up in the whole passing thing, man. Obviously, the dude threw for 500 yards, threw the ball over 50 times.
He's a good
thrower. But Bijan, you got to get him the ball. You got to get him. You got to get Algiers the ball. Algiers, I know everybody wants to give Bijan the ball, but let me tell you something. Algiers ain't trying to lose his job. He ain't trying to lose his spot on this team. Yep. And whenever you give him some carries, he always produces, man, ever since he's been here.
The numbers say that tonight it was a Bijan Robinson night, and he only got to carry the ball 12 times.
Yeah,
Algier only averaged 2 yards tonight. Again, I'm fine with them splitting time, just like they do in Detroit. Just like several teams now have two backs, the Thunder and the Lightning. But what the Falcons have is very, very unique. But Bijan needs to be featured. I'll keep saying it. He needs 20-plus carries a game. And tonight, I'm thinking you give him a few more carries. You know, he didn't even really break one tonight. He averaged 5 yards a carry, but didn't even really break one tonight. So I really want to see him get his just due.
We only had the one sack tonight. It looks like from the stats, Onyemata got one sack tonight. Outside of that, nobody else gets a sack, man, for the team. And we got to do better than that. We brought in Judon to get after the quarterback. He was non-effective tonight for the most part. We got to get pass rush on the quarterback on the defensive side of the ball. Nadi, what's up, baby?
Yeah, and another thing I'd like to mention, the Falcons dominated in time of possession tonight. 42 and a half minutes to 27 and a half minutes. And we'll be remiss to talk about the big play that Jesse Bates made down the stretch when he got that fumble out of Bucky Irvin. I mean, that pretty much saved the game because the Falcons were dead in the water had he not punched that ball out of that running back's hand.
What they call it, the peanut punch? The peanut
punch.
Yeah.
Right.
Coaches teach players in the secondary to club, rip, and punch at the ball every single chance you get, especially if there's another player or teammate on said carrier of the ball. You club it, punch it, or rip at it, you get it out 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4 times guaranteed.
Yeah. So big play, absolutely, by Naughty Dread to mention.
Great point, Dread. There's only 60 minutes in the ball game. Any team that has that ball for 42 minutes of that 60 minutes should be in a position to win the game at the end, and that's exactly what the Falcons did.
Rel Scott says the Bucs scored 24 points in the first half. We held them to 6 points in the second half. Great adjustments and rise up. Henry Britton, no Matt is the best quarterback in Atlanta history. From Chief Rocker Jersey Journey, just saying what's up to the fellas, to the stews. Juice 35C, I'm still pissed Matt Ryan took that sack after Julio made that great catch. Going back to the Super Bowl, it still hurts. So somebody said something on the social media in the group, the Two Live Stews. We got 2 pages. We got one group and one page on Facebook, all right? The group has right at 40,000 people in it. The page is where we post all of the reels, all of the live shows, all of the entire shows. So sign up for both of them. But someone made mention of the Super Bowl and how Matt Ryan, was or the Falcons were in that game or up 28-3, and then everything that could go wrong, and you mentioned it earlier, everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and Matt Ryan didn't step in as a leader to say, no, we should do this, that, or the other. And it's just snowballed. And I don't think since that game, the problem was since that game, I don't think the team, the players, the organization had confidence. They had lost a mojo in between that time and when, after the next season started and Dan Quinn, lost his job because of it. But Dan Quinn was a very good coach for this organization, got them to the Super Bowl. Shanahan made some bad plays. The players made some bad plays, but Shanahan or Dan Quinn could definitely coach when he was here.
A bulk of that Super Bowl loss falls on Shanahan. I give Matt Ryan a big bulk of it because you're the league MVP. You're the star of the team. You're the quarterback. Sometimes you got to use that veto power. Sometimes you got to be the brain between you and the coach. Sometimes you got to say, "Hey, coach, simmer down." Sometimes you got to remind him, "Hey, coach, I know we're up right now, and I know we're playing well, but Free did run the ball extremely well in the first half. We're not running the ball anymore. Can we get back to a little bit more run?" I mean, you've got to be the voice of reason sometimes when the coach gets caught up into his script, like Shanahan was back then. But again, that has nothing to do with tonight. And Kirk Cousins deserves all the flowers he's going to get the next few days. The Falcons played well tonight, and they found a way to win this damn ball game.
Doug and Ryan, the energy is unbelievable just leaving the game. That's from UMG. Busa, yes, Chief. Sigma Dad, slow down, Ryan. Kirk had 230 yards last week and 217 the week before that. I agree with you 100%. Melhouse 79, I know, bro, but I get it. Colonizers do it all the time. Trump is the greatest example. He's not qualified, but because of the color of his skin, his supporters would die for him. He's talking some politics. Chief Rock and Jersey Vern, Tampa Bay did not have both safeties. Stop, Doug and Falcons fans. Chief Rock is a New York Giants
stop
fan.
real quick. Tampa Bay played with a bunch of professional players. The Falcons didn't have a full deck either. No one, and we're just a quarter of the season in, Vern. No one has a full deck. Everybody's missing a few key players at certain positions in the league right now. So for you to try to rain on the Bucs parade, no.
On the Falcons parade.
On the Falcons parade. No. Everybody's beat up right now and missing a few players.
From Julius 35C, Shanahan, Ryan, and Quinn lost that Super Bowl. And once again, I'm not putting I've always said this. I'm not putting that much blame on Quinn. Quinn was a defensive coach. Quinn was clearly not calling the plays. He gave Shanahan full responsibility to make the play calls, and they wanted to try to make Matt Ryan the MVP, and they kept passing the damn ball. Mathematically, there was no way we were supposed to lose that game.
Right.
Based on the amount of time that they had to score to come back from a 28 3-point lead. And the end of the game, there was no way we were supposed to lose that game. We found a way to do it, and it was because of Shanahan punk ass. From Rel Scott.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Rel Scott, younger brother, if you have to go back 6 years to make your point, go ahead. I'm not sure what he's referring to. Melhouse. Dan Quinn deserved 50%. Kyle Shanahan deserves 25%. Freeman deserves 50%, and Matt deserves 10. Why are you giving 50% to Dan Quinn? Let's move on from the 28-3 Super Bowl loss, comeback loss, and let's talk about this great win tonight by the Atlanta Falcons. Let's do that.
We brought it up though. You do realize
we did bring it up, but I didn't mean for it to snowball like that. We need to celebrate this great win tonight. The team is 3-2. They're leading the division. Some good things. Kirk Cousins had the game of his life. Like he made a deal with the devil. Let's celebrate that tonight for at least the next 20 minutes until we take our black asses to bed.
Kirk Cousins is right now, for his career, a 67 completion percentage. Kirk Cousins has thrown for over 40,000 yards. Kirk Cousins yard per average is 7.6 yards per pass. Sir, again, I know he's not the guy that's going to throw for 5,500 yards a year, even though he's had multiple seasons with 5,000 plus yards. He's been very effective and efficient at the quarterback position his entire career while playing it. He really has.
Mealhouse 79, Doug, Quinn is the CEO. He has executive immunity. He heard, I lost it. He heard them calls coming through on that headset, manage the freaking game. He's absolutely right. That's the job of a head coach, is they have final veto power. Okay. And so when he heard all of them calls talking about passes coming through his headsets,
hey, stop it, guys.
At some point, it's like, whoa, guys, wait a minute. Let's think about this. That's all he had to do.
Guys.
That's all he had to do.
Cut it out.
Here's the thing. The Commanders are probably going to benefit from that experience. You know, everybody talks about Bill Belichick when he was with the Jets first. They were horrible. I believe he might have even been with the Cleveland Browns first. Oh, no, he wasn't with the Jets. He took the Jets job, but then he reneged on the deal. He was with Cleveland. When he was with Cleveland, you know, he was an awful coach. Awful coach. So he learned from his mistakes, and it benefited his next stop with the New England Patriots, and the rest is history. We might see that right now because Dan Quinn learned a lot on his first gig as a head coach in the NFL. You see what they're doing up there right now in Washington? Could be big things to come for that organization, that team, man.
Third down efficiency was much better this weekend. Well, not this weekend. Today, 6 for 14 for the Falcons, 6 for 11 for the Bucs. Again, it needs to be better than 6 for 14. At a minimum, it needs to be 7 for 14 or better. So that's something that was better than it was last week. They allowed 4 sacks, which they can't do. They got to protect Matt. They got to protect Kirk Cousins. But again, he's hampered right now. He's not doing a good job of getting out of the pocket. He's not really trying to get out of the pocket. He takes his 5 and 7 step drops, and he lets the ball ride the minute he lands on that back foot. They did a good job tonight of showing one of the illustrations of him in a Minnesota uniform back before his Achilles was torn, and the way he planted that back foot and threw off that back foot. Okay, he stuck that thing in the ground, and the bone was like this way. They showed it tonight, and when he stuck it in the ground, his leg was still stiff, and his leg was still straight up like this. He's having difficulty on that leg, but again, he threw for 509. We can't be too discouraged by what he's doing because he's finding ways to release the ball and get the ball caught. He's finding ways to win ball games, but he's still not the player that they need him to be when it comes to moving that pocket.
All right, so we do the Falcon wrap-up show after each and every home game for the Atlanta Falcons. So make sure you tune in, pass the word, tell people. And don't forget, we do the live show 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursdays at 7 a.m., 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com, and 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com. 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com, and 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com. Pass the word. Tell all your friends, hey, the Stews are back. The Stews are back. I didn't know the Stews are back. A lot of y'all don't know that we are back. So tell your friends, tell your people, check out your boys Mondays and Thursdays at 7 a.m.
We're powered and fueled by the good folks from Southern Edge. Southern Edge Beverage, CO.com is the website. Distribution in Georgia right now, Florida, and South Carolina. But the QR code that we will post here shortly can be scanned, and the bottle will come straight to your crib. So, again, even if you're not in the great state of Georgia, South Carolina, or Florida, you can still get Southern Edge Beverage Company straight to the crib by scanning the QR code that will be posted here shortly.
All right, so we're only going to do this show for an hour, so we got about another 15 minutes. Do us a favor and hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, or hit the heart. Please hit the thumbs up, hit the heart. That would really, really help us out. Also, hit the share button. Share the show. Subscribe to the show, so whenever we go live, you'll get an alert on your phone saying, hey, the Stew's alive, all right? So hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, the hearts, do all of that. Help your boys out. We really, really would appreciate it, man. Big game for the Falcons as we get it done tonight over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Heard some big news tonight while I was reading some stuff about the great Indiana Fever point guard Caitlin Clark, but we're not going to get into that tonight. Tonight's about the Falcons wrap-up, so we're going to stick to the Falcons. But I did hear some really big news about one of the best players in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, but we'll talk about that on Monday.
The Falcons traveled to the Carolina Panthers on the 13th. Obviously, we play on Thursday night, so we got this weekend off. Next weekend, we play against the Carolina Panthers on the 13th in Charlotte, North Carolina, 4:25 p.m. kickoff. So go Falcons. That should be a win. That's going to take us to 4-2. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I'm counting them damn chickens before they hatch.
Don't do that. Don't do that, man.
Andy Dalton.
The Red Rifle. The Red Rifle is playing some pretty good ball in Carolina right now.
Damn the Red Rifle.
You popped in for something, Red. What you got, player?
I just, if I could, I'd just like to mention two things.
Go ahead, sir. Yes,
please,
sir.
All right.
Please.
One, a lot of people were really upset when the Falcons paid Kirk Cousins that $100 million guaranteed. And I kept telling everybody, that's the going rate for a solid starting quarterback in the league. Do you see what Dak Prescott
with a bum wheel though? With a bum wheel though, Natty?
Do you see what Dak Prescott just got?
Yeah,
yep.
Right.
60.
Right. So what Kirk Cousins got is chump change when it comes to a quality starting quarterback in the NFL. So it shouldn't be no issue anymore. That's what Raheem Morris was telling him after he got them in that position to win the game. This is why we paid you $100 million guaranteed.
You read his lips? That's what he was saying?
Yeah, I believe that's what he was saying. He could have been saying something totally different.
Okay.
I think that's what he was saying.
Hey, got to give credit where credit's due. He's been balling his ass off the last couple of weeks. What's the second thing you had, Nadi?
Yeah, and it's for the, just having the opposite opinion, because, I'm a huge Mike Vick fan.
Mm-hmm.
I really changed my fandom away from the Falcons after what happened to Mike Vick. But being objective, Matt Ryan is the best quarterback the Falcons has ever had in their history. I mean, the MVP, he got him to the Super Bowl. He was the consummate professional. He actually came in on Tuesdays and studied film the way a professional quarterback is supposed to do. And I love Mike Vick. Matt Ryan does not have the athletic ability that Mike Vick has. Matt Ryan does not have the excitement and the ability to put asses in seats the way Mike Vick did. But when it comes to playing football between that gridiron, Matt Ryan is the best quarterback the Falcons have had. And
well, I don't want to belabor the point.
Vick.
I don't want to belabor the point because this is Matt Ryan's night. Okay.
Correct.
But once again, this is something that I talk about all the time. When you talk about the Hall of Fame or you talk about wins are a team metric. I will argue, and I could probably show you on paper that Matt Ryan had consistently a better team around him than Vic ever did.
Well,
okay,
he's played longer at the quarterback position in Atlanta, partly because of Mike Vick's actions. If Mike Vick hadn't done what he did, Matt Ryan would have never came to Atlanta.
Can't blame nobody but himself.
No, you got to look in the mirror. You got to look in the mirror on that.
Yeah.
We
talked about that today, man.
We're not going to fat Matt Ryan for that.
Yeah, we talked about it briefly this morning on the show. Today is Thursday, right? We did the show this morning. And we don't need to get back in this. This is so old history. Let's celebrate the fact that the Falcons are leading the division, the NFC South. Matt Ryan goes into the Ring of Honor, and things are looking real bright for the Dirty Birds going into Carolina next week.
Division leaders right now, the Bucs and the Falcons are 3-2. Falcons will be at the top of the division tomorrow when that metric gets changed. Vikings in the NFC North at 4-0. Seahawks at 3-1 in the NFC West. And the Commanders, surprisingly, at 3-1 right now in the NFC East. And on the AFC side of things, the Bills are 3-1. The Chiefs are 4-0. The Steelers are 3-1. And the Texans are 3-1. So dare I say that the Falcons at 3-2 really should be 4-1 if that pass interference call gets called versus KC at the Falcons Stadium a couple of weeks ago. So, again, they're playing good ball and they're finding ways to win. And something that's very positive, I know the Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated, not playing their best ball. The Falcons are 3-2, should have another win versus KC that we're not counting. But, again, they're not playing their best ball yet, and we're a quarter into the season. So, as things continue to move forward, this team should get better.
Hey, I got a great idea, Falcons fans. Since you guys have your franchise quarterback, the Raiders have a great weapon on the trade block. We can use your backup quarterback. Let's do a trade straight up. He's talking about Devontae Adams coming for Michael Penix Jr.
As a Raider fan, I would love that, okay? But the Falcons knew exactly what they were doing when they took Michael Penix Jr. at number 8. They knew exactly what they were doing.
See, you already changed your tune about that as well?
Yeah. I changed that earlier. I changed that a while ago. I'm happy that
we call the Falcons everything but a son of the devil about that pick.
Well,
where they picked him at and giving that money to Kirk Cousins. Now you flipping already?
Real quick,
you quick to flip now.
I'll clarify things because this is not new. I've said this on air multiple times. Every team wants 2 good quarterbacks. I do not like the fact that our number 8 overall pick is not on the field of play right now for this team. Players 1 through 12, 1 through 15 should get reps from the team that draft them that high. So I do not like that. However, for the Falcons to say right now, if something happens to our number 1, the guy that we've brought in to be a Band-Aid for a few years, if something happens to him, we've got a guy that we believe will be our quarterback for the next 10 to 12 years. I'm fine with that.
I'm
really fine with that.
You know how we go back and look at that big draft, that famed draft that the Pittsburgh Steelers had when they took like Lynn Swann, Jack Ham. They took like 3 Hall of Fame players at one time. This could be the beginning of something big where 5 years from now, we look back and look at that draft day and how everybody was laughing and clowning Terry Fontenot, but he actually was a genius.
I didn't like it.
That could be the case.
I didn't
because
like it at
nobody saw, what was going on right now, how great Kirk Cousins is playing, the Falcons being up in the division 3 games to 2, leading the division, and still have a quarterback in the future on the bench. That was their whole point. That's why they did it. And we laughed at them. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. You just talked about it. Your pick that high has to get on the field. But guess what? Terry Fontenot might be some type of football savant genius if this thing works out. If Penix can walk in there ready to play, in a year or 2 years from now, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the genius behind it all.
The one game he played in this preseason for the Atlanta Falcons, which was the first preseason game, he had an exceptional game. I mean, he played so well, okay? He played so well that the coaching staff and management decided, we're good. Put him on the side, let him rest. We're good after we have seen what we've seen. We don't need to get any more reps out of him in the preseason. We don't want to risk injury. We're going to let him and Kirk Cousins rest. So, again, I really would like my 8th overall pick from last year to be on the field, but I get what Fontenot has done, and I think it's a genius move to this point.
Old National, he says, great idea. I miss Doug and Bobby doing the wrap-up show. Talk about the great Bobby Abear. You said, I tried to call Bobby because I wanted to get him on the show, and his number wasn't working. You know how to get in contact with the great the Cajun Cannon?
I will call the NFLPA and get the number. No problem at all.
Wait a minute. That's how the NFLPA works?
We have a phone
everybody
book.
Everybody that played in the league has access to phone numbers for everybody else?
I have a phone book upstairs that has every former and not current, every former player that's in the NFLPA, their phone number, their address, and their email is in the book.
What edition? I mean, when was this printed?
They do one yearly. Yeah,
you got the phone numbers of everybody that ever played in the NFL that's in the PA. We ain't had one damn play on yet.
Now, let me add this to it now. I have the numbers that they wanted to put in there. So some people may have a pager number in there. Some people may have a voicemail listed. Some people may have a number to their office phone that they don't use. But again, I've got a contact on all those guys, so I will reach out to Bobby Abear.
Do y'all have to pay dues for that to be in the union or whatever, the club?
Yes. I did pay dues when I was a player, and now
you'll get it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now I pay $100 a year to be NFLPA member, and that comes with a couple of privileges. That comes with the car to get in access to places where there's long lines and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to use that more, man.
I agree.
We need to use that more.
We need to find a platform that will bless us to utilize the phone calls like we want. That's all. Yeah. And we're working really, really hard.
We're working really hard on that. Yeah, we are. The Answer Game podcast. It says Aaron Rodgers rolled the bench for over 5 years before he got the nod. He was drafted in the first round. That's a very good point. Once again, it looks like this whole plan that Terry Fontenot and the organization had is working out perfectly.
No question.
As long as Kirk Cousins can stay on the field, and deliver great performances like he gave tonight, Terry Fontenot might be the all-time greatest, figure in Falcon history, man, if this thing works out.
Kirk Cousins will play better as the season continues to go. Mm-hmm. He will play better. As a matter of fact, man, he's gotten freaking better each week. Look at the numbers. He's gotten better each week to the point where tonight he threw for 509.
Sigma Dads, Ryan's top picks do not have to play from the jump. Patrick Mahomes was the 10th pick.
I'm fine with that.
Very true statement.
I'm fine with that.
From Loose Neck Side, if Cousins continues to win and even finds a way to succeed in the playoffs, will they deal Penix after a few years or continue to keep?
No.
There's no way they deal Penix.
No way.
Kirk Cousins, by his age alone,
he's
and the
36.
fact that he's been banged up, he's got 2 years.
Yeah,
they're going to give him this year. They're going to possibly give him next year, and then year 3, Penix is going to be in there.
based upon what Penix does in camp and Flowery Branch that we won't see, based upon what he does, Cousins may not get next year. They may be happy to let him walk with that $50 million next year. They may say, man, you know what? For the 1 year service, take this $100 million. We appreciate you, but we've got our future right here. They may say, just go ahead, man. You good.
Yeah. Peace. Get the stepping. Don't cut the corners.
Or trade him someplace else for a place that's desperate for a quarterback. I would say Carolina right now.
Right.
Get a 5th or a 6th round pick and maybe a player. That's the possibility. But Michael Penix Jr., he's the future for sure.
For the record, once again, you're all high and mighty about Kirk Cousins. I'm just cautiously watching.
Yeah,
for the record.
He threw for 509.
From Julius
I ain't cautious about nothing.
From
he
Julius,
threw for 509 tonight.
Remember this, okay?
Yeah.
Julius 35C, loose neck. Cousins is just to get the Falcons to the playoffs. Penix is to win the Falcons a Super Bowl. I don't know. You brought in that guy. You paid him $100 million. We trying to win, shawty.
He good for a year or two. Yeah, he's good for a year or two. Barring injury, he'll be your guy for the next year or two.
But the point he was making is we're not really expecting to win with him. That's what I got.
The hell we not. Yeah. The hell we not. If that's what he meant, he crazy.
Man, if you can get in the playoffs,
right,
and win 1 or 2 games,
all you got to do is win 3 or 4 when you get there.
Yeah, we trying to win. We trying to win. Julius 35C, loose neck. Cousins is just to get the Falcons. I just read that one. Rail Scott, JV3. So says the Saints fan. We got Saints fans in here. Loose neck side, I'm saying if he wins despite age.
You don't want the Saints fans in here? You want the Saints fans to leave?
I don't want no Saints fans in here.
No, you better stop it. Thank you, Saints fans, for pulling up. I love your city. Really love your city.
Sigma Dads, Doug and Ryan, y'all need to check out the docuseries Evolution of the Black Quarterback. Yeah, Vic is actually hosting that. And so once again, I mentioned this morning how I'm so happy for that man that he's kind of redeemed himself. Like he's doing a lot of things in public eye, in the public view a lot, and doing good things, man. I'm happy for that man.
Saw a picture of him and his wife where he was wishing his wife happy birthday a couple of weeks ago. And he just really appears to be in a good place, man, and I'm happy for him. I really am.
From Dub Slim, you don't go out and get players to not win. Absolutely. From JY3, we in here, Dougie. That's what's up, JY3. So once again, if you are new, if you just stumbled upon this show, the wrap-up show, we're going to do this after each and every Falcons home game, maybe even some other games on the road as well, depending on the times and schedules. But we also do the Two Live Stews, the old school Two Live Stews show with most of the bells and whistles Mondays and Thursdays at 7 a.m. at 2. Your choice, the number 2, livestews.com or 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com. 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com, 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com. All right? Pass the word. We really would appreciate it.
One last shout out to the good folks that are fueling and powering the 2 Live Stews and the 2 Live Stews experience and the 2 Live Stews crew pop-ups and the Falcons wrap-up show, Southern Edge Beverage Company. Check them out on the web at southernedgebeverageco.com.
All right, I gotta go to bed, man. I mean, we came this close from scrapping this shit.
No, you came that close. No.
Man, I'm tired, man.
Yeah, me too.
I'm punching the clock.
But we told the people we were gonna be here, man. We pulled up for the people today, and the people pulled up for us. Had over 1,000 people stop by to check out what was going on with the Stews, man. Shouts out to my man Dub Slim. Shouts out to the man Naughty Dread. Appreciate you, Dread. Shouts out to you too, Dougie. Good job, man.
All right, we'll be back Monday. I'm not sure. I meant to tell you that too. I don't think I could do the show Monday, man.
You out of town?
Yeah, I'm out of town. I won't get back till later this afternoon. We'll see.
No worries.
Shouts out to the Atlanta Falcons as they get the big win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 36-30. Remember the shows come on live. All right. One thing I want to mention to people and pass this around for us. We start the stream at 6:45 a.m. We don't come on live until 7. I had one of the bros tell me, man, y'all got too many commercials. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I figured out in talking to him.
He never got to the damn show.
Because he tuned in. He got the message saying the show was live. So he clicks in and he's watching commercials for 15 minutes. All right. So we go live at 6:45. We actually come on and start talking at 7 a.m. Eastern time, Mondays and Thursdays. All right? You good?
I'm doing great, man.
Falcons get it done, 36-30. Off to Carolina in a week and a half, technically, kind of, sort of. And that should be a good day for us as well.
Y'all have a safe weekend in these streets. Enjoy your college football weekend. Enjoy your NFL weekend. And be careful. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. If you don't know him, you need to find him and show him love. That's all he's showing you, nothing but love. Thank y'all for pulling up on the Two Live Stews crew, Atlanta Falcons wrap-up show. We will see y'all next week, and peace.
That's what's up.